everyone, and welcome to Daily Newspaper Analysis, which is brought to you by LawSeco. So, today we will discuss two articles. Both are from the Hindu newspaper. The first article is an immigration bill that does not go far. So, this basically talks about the immigrants. So, now here we'll also discuss what is the difference between the immigrants and the immigrants. What is this bill all about, and what are the flaws or the limitations of this particular bill will be discussed in this article. And secondly, we have this article which is from again the Hindu newspaper, which is titled as Wounded Mountains. So this talks about the very recent landslide, the major landslide that has taken place in Kinnaur of Himachal Pradesh, and how disturbing the ecology is actually causing such landslides at a greater pace will be discussed in this article. This newspaper analysis is presented by me. My name is Sheba Khan. I am a law graduate and had completed my law degree from Uttaranchal University in the year 2019. I completed my degree with a gold medal in my batch, and here at LawSeco, I'm working as the manager for current affairs vertical. If you wish to connect with me, you can find me on Twitter as well as LinkedIn. Both the handles are given in the description box below. So let's see what is the multiple choice question from yesterday's discussion. Fit for 55 initiative to cut the greenhouse gases emission is introduced by. Your options are African Union, European Union, Arab League, or the ASEAN. If you know this answer, you can put it down in the comment section below. So this is the descriptive question for the day. Critically analyze the proposed Immigration Bill 2021. Please remember, whenever the question asks you to analyze or discuss anything critically, it means that you need to discuss both the merits as well as the demerits of the given topic. So if you wish to download the PDF of these slides, or you want to avail other study materials like the current affairs newsletters, current affairs quizzes, daily static quizzes, etc., you can take a participation or you can be a part of our Telegram channel. The link to this channel is also given in the description box below. Also, you can simply scan this QR code, which is given on your screens right now. For other crisp and important content, do not forget to follow us on our official Instagram channels for Judiciary, CLAT Prep, as well as UGC Net if you're preparing for any of these exams. Also, if you wish to listen to the podcast of this very newspaper analysis as well as for Hindi, you can subscribe to our daily newspaper analysis channel on Spotify, Google, Anchor, and even Apple Podcast. So let's quickly start our discussion for the day, which talks about the Immigration Bill 2021. So before we delve deep into this particular article and discuss it further, what we need to clear out in our heads is what is the difference between emigration and immigration, since this bill talks about emigration. So basically, there are two terms that are immigration and emigration. So when we talk about the emigration, which this bill talks about, it means the outflow or the outward movement of the citizens from a country. So if we take example for India, so if citizens of India are moving to any other outside country XYZ, so that movement would be called as emigration. So this is the movement wherein the people move out from a particular country. On the other hand, when we talk about the immigration, which is not talked about in this entire article, but let me clear it out to you so that you do not have any confusion with this regard. So immigration is when people from other country, citizens from any XYZ outer country move into your own country. So let me give you a very simple example of this. If I, being a citizen of India, move, let's say, to Qatar or Kuwait to work over there, this process for India would be called as emigration, because I, being an Indian citizen, am moving out to any other country. But for example, any other citizen, let me give you a very simple example that earlier when Adnan Sami was not a citizen of India, and even when, let's say that Fahad Khan and Fawad Khan and all these people, they moved from Pakistan to work in India, but still they held the citizenship of Pakistan, and their remittances, their taxes were being paid to Pakistan. That movement for India was considered to be as the immigration. So I hope that here we are clear about that what is the difference between emigration and immigration. Now, with particular regard to this article, it talks about the emigration bill, which means it talks about the rights of the people or the citizens of the country, India, who move out to the other countries in search of work. So recently, the Ministry of External Affairs has invited the public inputs to this particular Immigration Bill 2021. Let's talk about this bill in a bit detail. So the purpose of this bill is to consolidate and amend the law relating to the emigration of citizens. So basically, so that the emigration or the outside movement of the citizens can be tracked more efficiently, they can be given better services, they can be given better rights and everything. So that is basically the purpose, to consolidate and amend the laws that are relating to the outside movement or the emigration of the citizens from India to other countries. So this bill launches a new immigration policy division, which has been established to help desks and also welfare committees, and also requires manpower agencies to conduct pre-departure briefings for migrants, and increases accountability of brokers and other intermediaries involved. I will give you a very good example of this. I hope that all of you must have watched the very recent movie Khuda Hafiz, wherein it was starring Shivalika Oberoi and Vidyut Jambal. So there you must have seen that there was a person who was considered to be a kind of a travel agent, who actually was responsible for taking Shivalika and Vidyut Jamal, basically the couple, in the other country for in search of work. Now, definitely these brokers play a very important role arranging various kinds of requirements. Let's say that finding the right job in a new country, helping with the passport, visa, and other departmental formalities. So you must have seen that broker, ultimately, when the girl went missing over there, the broker also ran away, which means that he was not very much accountable. And definitely that is why this bill also seeks that such brokers should be given more of accountability, and that is why the other intermediaries also that are involved in the process, they should be held more accountable if in case any such problem arises in the future. But also, there are some shortcomings of the bill, wherein, first of all, it lacks a human right framework aimed to secure the rights of migrants and their families. So, definitely, when we were coming up with a new bill altogether, so it should have had a better discussion about the human rights for the workers and their families. Secondly, it permits the manpower agencies to charge workers service fees and even allows to set their own limits. And definitely, this can become very much arbitrary in the coming times. And thirdly, it does not adequately reflect gender dimensions of the labor migration, which means that the women have been left with only very limited agency. And here, equality between the two genders cannot be really seen. So when we talk about various reports that we have had on the migrant workers abroad, so the migrant workers face serious exploitative practices, and they are actually like large recruitment charges, contract substitution, deception, retention of passports, non-payment or the underpayment of wages, poor living conditions, discrimination, etc. And since they still are the citizens of our country, the government is very much responsible that they are treated properly in the other country, if at all they are moving out for any work opportunities. And secondly, the majority of migrant worker deaths in Arab Gulf countries or the states in West Asia are attributed to heart attacks and respiratory failures, which shows that maybe the health infrastructure over there for the migrant workers is not really very subtle. So here we can see that India is the top recipient of the world's migrant remittances, which means that our workers bring the most remittances or the highest remittances back to the country, which is approximately to 69 billion. Then we have China at 64 billion, and then we have Philippines, Mexico, France, Nigeria, etc. So with this, let's discuss the second article for the day, which talks about the importance of preserving ecology. So recently, 8 tourists have died in a landslide. It was a major landslide in Kinnaur, which is there in Himachal Pradesh. And this actually brings our focus back on preserving the ecology, because it has been seen that recently the ecological disturbances have become the major cause of such landslides and other natural disasters, specifically in the mountainous regions. So, if we talk about Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, they may be entering a phase of irreversible decline due to ecology loss, and that is why frequent landslides are not a very new thing. And thus, it has become there is an incompatible model of development in the hills, because see, what is the issue is that we are not really keeping the terrain or the geographical factors in mind while we are talking about the development in these particular areas. Obviously, a mountainous region cannot be compared directly with a plain region, which is easier for any kind of development, and other hydropower power projects or other things can be brought up very easily. And thus, in mountainous regions, if we are bringing the big hydropower projects, so large scale construction, including deforestation and damming of rivers, is a big problem. And that is why mega hydropower projects, which are seen as an alternative to the energy from fossil fuels, in order to bring more cleaner energy, they could actually alter several aspects of ecology very negatively, and thus they can make it vulnerable to extreme events like we saw over here. And even we had the Malpa landslide back in 1998, which was one of the most major landslide that India had faced, which took place in the Pithoragarh district of Uttarakhand in 1998. So here are some relevant research and reports regarding this. So according to the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Energy in 2018-19, the state could double its existing hydropower capacity. And also there was another report that warned that avaricious tapping of river would impound nearly 1/4 of water in dams and divert 72% through tunnels. So here the researchers also studying in 2015 Nepal earthquake, they pointed out that too high seismicity causing fatal landslides and severe damage to hydropower structures can be a big reason, and that is why these can call in for great disasters in the coming times. And that is why we need to develop a balance between ecology, economy, and the people as well. So this was all for the day. We hope it was a good session for you all. Thank you so much for staying tuned with LawSeeku. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much.